Hello and welcome to Retro Zord Review Episode 4. This time, Thunder Megazord. And at first, the Thunder Zords in their individual modes, well, on the sled in this point. This is kind of a, tank mode if you want it like that. Like the first Dino Megazord has like a tank mode, you know. This is kind of comparison to this. This is 90s. I got that from my childhood still. That's complete. There's nothing missing. Some parts are in storage with little ranger figures, which you could get here, on top of each sword, like here, and on the Firebird on the back, and small crystals. But they were in a box somewhere, so I didn't find them to get them out. They were buried somewhere. Is this Legacy? Legacy doesn't have this, but I don't mind, to be honest. It's fine like the way it is. It's both different, as you can see. This is the German version, the EU German version. They're similar, and I guess the American version is the same. I don't have one. I know that the first Megazord version is slightly different EU from America, but I don't have anything to compare. So before I blab too much, little history lesson, show-wise, because I think that's relevant for what you see here. As I said, I try not to blab too much, but yeah. Season 2 of Power Rangers, Zords change, as you see. New villain, Lord Zed, totally ragdolled Zords, and Alpha was like, okay, we have to do something. Zordon introduced new Zords, and they did we do what is left over from the olds and transform them into new Zords, which is this, basically. And that was with the run of Season 2 what happened. And so what happened in the background, as I mentioned before, Power Rangers is based on Super Sentai, on Japanese footage. So they said, okay, we need more footage, but they didn't have any because the Zyuranger footage, or Zyuranger, I hope I pronounced that right, which is Season 1 for us. Mighty Morphin Season 1 is run out of stock footage, so they took the next thing that was there, that was yaYsPllw. So the Zords changed, they cut everything together to fit. Sometimes you see in a close-up when you pause the videos, or even when they're rolling little Rangers on here, but you see different suits because that's the yaYranger suits. And they stuck with the MMPR suits that we're known for, and I'm quite happy with those. I know there are a lot of people like, oh, they should take in other suits, but that's your own taste and opinion, as always. So the biggest difference is the line. You can see this is the toy version, and this one is the also toy version but Legacy. This one is show accurate, like you can see in the show as it says. There was no Black Ranger in yaYranger, so the Black Ranger, our one, got the Zack got the lion, and they, for the toy set, that was way too confusing, so they switched it up and made it all black instead, like green, like it is here. But even as a kid, like, there's something wrong. Yeah, kids know. Kids are not stupid, and even now, what I will do in future is, because stickers and everything here is weirdly with power bolts again. Bandai had some idea that they have to do that for whatever reason. Maybe it was license issues or whatever. I will get BD15 stickers, and we'll get a repaint from the yaYsPllw sets. But that's a future thing, a future project, when yaYsPllw finds time for it. So, besides that, this is a bit bigger, and this is more shiny and smaller. There are other differences. I will give this a spin. I could have done that earlier because I forgot. As I said, line is different, sticker-wise, everything else different. The turntable is rumbling. More in the middle. Yeah. I hope it didn't get a whack from the Dragon's Zord, from the Legacy, which is way too heavy. This is more heavy as well than this. And as you can see, if you compare, there are slight differences. Ooh, that's squeaking. I don't like that. I hope. Don't be mean to me. Don't crash on me. You're rather new. So, what I wanted. I lost I lost my thoughts. Sorry. But other than this is, yeah, well, smaller. This is basically the same stuff. This is more fancy. This is more metal, more heavy. This is 90s. This is old, but it's identical. This guy, oops, crashed stuff. Here's the helmet for Megazord. Has a different mode. I will show that. Normally when the Zords are called, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord appears as a dragon. I will just flip that over and I have to put stuff out. I just make that quickly. It's 1994, as you can see here. I hope you can see. So it's old and it's dusty. Oh, I cleaned you before and it's still dusty. Weird. As I said here, the power bolts, it's way different from what were normally used from the show, because that was the 90s and they thought it was to have to do like this. What they did was changing it up a bit. Come on. It's like riding a bike. You never forget how this works. As I said, it's old and still it's good looking. Thunder Zords are some of those who are aged a bit less. I don't know why. They're good than my other Zords, but basically, you can open up the hands of this guy. Come on. I didn't done that in a while, so if you don't use that with toys, it kind of gets stuck in there. And you hear it squeaking now and then. So every time I record, my nose is itching. I don't know why. Take the sled away for a bit. So, and everything's crashing in behind, so that you can actually see the red dragon. I hope he doesn't kick anything over, but yeah. So that's the mode that the Red Dragon presents in this way. And if I put him here, that's the other mode that you compare. I will flip him over in a moment as well, because he's more fancy and more agile. The feet and everything becomes like dragon's neck and the tail, which is like really, really nice. So I don't lie, I like both. This one is more fancy, but it has its downsides as well. And that would be the metal in it. The Megazord has a leaning issue. Not all of them. The first releases had more an issue than the later ones. They released a second batch or so. But I wouldn't trade both in. I like to have both on the shelf, and I'm really happy with those. So what I can do now is take you away from you back into warrior mode, because I need you for Megazord then, for comparison. Off with the head. Sorry. I don't know. Just popped in my mind. Don't be mean to me. So, this flaps over and sticks like this. I like this with old toys, with older versions of Zords. They had like rotations and gimmicks and such. And newer stuff is basically take it apart and reassemble it, which is kind of sad. I mean, there's stuff that is fun as well, but what I don't like, what you see most on eBay is stuff like this, where I'm like, nah, not right. But that's mostly people who don't know what they have there, maybe found it on an attic or so. This is the guy in this mode. This goes apart And mostly if you buy something used, the 90s one, you will have just one half of it. Cannot happen with the Legacy. That's not the case. That's one solid piece. So this is the same deal. You can take that off, flip these stuff over. Oh, I have to take. It's slightly different with the tail part in here, which is a chest and a crotch piece. I have to see how I'll get that out there because I don't. Oh, just pull it out. Okay, didn't done that in a while. Just rotate that over. One thing I don't like about the Legacy version of this is you can see the holes of the dragon, of the bullet holes when you flip that. Depends on how you have him on the shelf. When you have him in Megazord mode or in Dragon mode, you can see those here like a lot. I don't like that. It's not on the other side, of course, but not a fan of that, to be honest. So let me put that aside. 2 hands is easier than 1. Biggest difference is you can move the fingers here a bit better. On Megazord you can move the hands. I will show you in a bit. The fists in the 90s versions are just like fists, like gauntlets, and the Legacy version actually is movable with that. This gets pulled out, and this is like totally different to what the other dragon is. This is the head, this is the tail piece. No, other way around, I guess. Yeah, that's the tail piece. So the headpiece on the 90s one is a bit more better in there. This easily falls off now and then if you're not careful, if you move around too much. But overall this looks way nicer in Dragon mode. I try to rest him here and I hope he doesn't kick anything. So, ooh, your horns. So, if you can see, there's the other comparison with it. This is like way more bent. The other one was like really stiff because it was 4 solid pieces, like flick and good. You can turn it and twist it a bit, but this is like way more fancy. And it was expensive in the past, getting like that one and that one. Difference between Legacy and 90s toys is the Thunderzord Assault Team, which is this. You had to buy it separate. You bought this as a 90s toy, and then if you wanted Megazord, you had to buy the Red Dragon Zord in a separate set. So you had to buy 2 Zords packs, basically. When you bought Legacy, it's just one complete Megazord set, which is nice. I don't like that. If you need 1 Zord and you have to buy 2 separate pairs, not a fan of it. I know it happened in the future after that once and then with other Zord packs, but yeah, happens. So stop you for that. We form Megazord. We make you warrior mode again. I hope that's fast enough. I don't try to do a speed run here, but as I said, I mostly blab a lot in these videos, and I don't want to take more of your time than necessary. So, come on. I mean, it's awesome that you can flick this out and angle it better and stuff, but it also has its downsides. It makes them more fragile for certain such stuff. Language. Language is complicated sometimes, even for me. So you go in there again. Thanks. No, other way around, please. Or not? I'm confused. Wait. Yeah, I guess that's wrong. Yeah, that's better. Whoop. Is that more fragile part-wise? This guy, if I do it right, can turn his head. If I have it on here again. Oh yeah. Other detail. You can see this jaws open. Legacy, this goes closed like that and goes on. 90s, you have to open it to put it on there. So good. You go in the middle, and then you play a little bit roundabout, and I will form Megazord here. At least I try. Oh wait. I hope this is not too heavy. You can have the assault team in the middle. And for Megazord, I hope. Because I said this is heavy. It has an indent for each Zord. It's not just like resting there. There's the space for every Zord to rest and fit in. So yeah. Seems good. Bit more centered. Similar to the first Dino Megazord, you have your typical blue and yellow. So, which are feet. They are more simple than the Tiger Zord and the Triceratops. Tiger, Saber-tooth Tiger Zord. Wrong season, sorry. It's very loud. Sorry for the clicking. It's old toys. It makes noise in this case. Then you have those. You flick them backwards and rotate those outwards. Don't do it wrong. I did it as a child wrong and did it inwards, and I broke stuff in here. But nothing that yeah. Or did I? Yeah. You have little markers basically in here. You'll have a small piece where you can see that the this like plated piece, which represents scales of a dragon, goes in. They just go down and they click, which can be heard. As I said, those toys are loud because they're old. That's one downside with this. If you ask me, it's same with the legacy one. You have to use some force to get it in and out, and that's like using a lot of the toys, which is, I don't like that. You ruin it over time if you're unlucky or break it. Depends on how brittle it is. This one is the Firebird. Comes with a tail normally, as you can see with the legacy, and then just arms up. Has some pegs in the back. Goes around and forms like some piece of armor. Black lion. You have put that off. Head goes up, and you have little black pieces in here. I didn't know. Wait. Not really visible, sorry. There's like, from the little black pieces which flick over. You have to be careful with legacy because they are there as well, of course. You need them, but they are like really snug in there, and if you're not careful, you break them. Well, they feel like they break. This goes here on top. Just as a chest piece, as I said. Oh yeah, by the way, this opens, but only on the 90s. The little figures go in there, in the cockpit. So this folds out, goes on one side, and yeah, this is like hollow. It's one piece. This one I will show you in a bit. Just opens, and then similar deal. And the helmet just rests on there. There has little clips on the helmet, but mine broke off as I was a child on one side. And you have the sword, gray plastic, not liked by everyone, but you can give it in hand like Megazord has. He has no shield like the other Zord, and this one has a part which you just can attach it to the Firebird. Done, basically. And now I take you off and we do this once more. So let's switch that up. It's the same deal. This is more smooth because it's newer. Yeah, I guess we take your sword away before you kick something over. Come on. Goes in there. As I said, biggest difference is the color and the stickers. Legacy is way more accurate. It's 100% accurate. It goes here, yellow goes there. This one's silver, as you can see, that's black on here. Same deal with this guy. Outwards. Flick those in. And they go down until they click. Well, not that. Oh, they don't click, sorry. Then you have the Firebird. Detaches. Tail is more snug in there. This tail of the 90s Firebird always folds off for me, but that was the way it is. The same, it has two pack holes, and the packs are on the Red Dragon, so you put that on here as well. Make some room to fold those on there. So, and then you have this. Whoop. Go off. I will try this once more with the legacy parts if they don't fall on me. Yeah, here's, you can see those parts better here. The same are on the 90s. And you have to be very careful with those. Especially when you try it the first time, it's like really good in there, and if you're unlucky it breaks. I don't hope it happens to me, but I've seen that in pictures. Chest piece attaches like this, and here's one of the main parts which is an issue with this Megazord. It's heavy. It's the metal of like this. The feet are heavy. I mean, I like diecast, but just being heavy for the sake of being heavy like that, or like diecast for being the sake of diecast, I don't like that. This opens, as I said, the fists. You can see that. Show you in a moment. Just flick those out, so you can see here. His hand is open. The other one is just a hole. Whoop. No. Good catch. Fucking hell. If that breaks, I will be really sad. So, and this has, as you can see, it has a leaning issue because, yeah, this opens. This one not. Oh, sorry. This goes over here, and then yeah. This guy can turn his head, the other one can't. This sword has a chain, like on the show. This one doesn't. So yeah. And this says, this always falls off on me now and then. It has just 2 holes where it tags in. This one is like over the Firebird. This is just attached to the side. This sword here is nice chrome, really shiny chrome. And here it's like color and everything, the difference, legacy, 90s. Give me a sec. Yeah. Here, way more heavy. I hope the turntable doesn't crash on me. Here are the 2 sleds. This is the 90s. This is the legacy. Here's a part in there for Megazord, for Megazord, which you need to attach to Firebird to get it grabbed by the Megazord. That's different, which I will show you in another video. When we show Megazord in general, it's different to the Megazord combination with the 90s one. You just go around, you play roundabout for a bit, and just put those to a side. And for comparison, put the 90s next to him, that you can compare in that. Yeah, he has a small leaning issue forwards because of the heaviness. If you adjust it right, I hope he stays that way. But yeah, because the feet are way more closer than they should be, there's no real air in between, and they are like doing like the split. But I guess that's that for the Thunderzords, for the first part of the Thunderzord line, which took way longer than expected. Sorry for that, but it's a lot to show, and yeah. Hope you enjoyed what you see. If that's the case, we will see and hear us in the next one, which will be Megazord. So stay safe. Till next time.